Where are we going?
Dunwoody Road.
I wish we were stuck on an island. Just the two of us.
Love you. The fuck?
The first day of school was supposed to feel like a new beginning. But that year was different.
Family's been notified.
Chrissy Monroe, 17 years old. Steve Carpenter, English teacher at the high school.
First murders to occur in this town in forever.
Deep down was a collective anxiety, but we all did our best to block it out.
Feels like a dream, doesn't it?
As their bodies decomposed beneath the soil of our town, above ground, things were only just getting started.
It doesn't only captivate me when a show is greenlit to come out and never does, but one that looked to be very good and filled with all sorts of potential. The trailer you just looked at was for a series that has been in development since 2011, and in 2017 was given the go and supposed to be on Hulu until they said psych, and it never happened. This show is one I stumbled upon a couple years ago and has always been one of those things I've kept in the back of my head, mostly because of what I feel to be such a good trailer with hints of a great show that could have been. The script was originally written way back in 2007 by two men named Chris Hutton and Eddie O'Keefe. They were both 21 and attending school at the American Film Institute. An interesting fact about them is that in 2012 they were trying to make When the Streetlights Go On a feature film and even secured $7 million to make that happen, but later realized they needed much more to make their dream happen and shied away from doing a movie. These two guys later had the script optioned to Paramount TV and a producer named Brett Morgan. Now, when a script is optioned, this basically means you're giving the rights to your project to a producer so that they can shop it around to different networks and try to find it a home. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, that sounds like you're basically giving them your show. That's kind of sketchy. I mean, your show can get stolen. This happens all the time. You're kind of right. Except it's mostly temporary. When you're optioning a script, it can be a process that's anywhere from 6 months to a year or longer, but it's usually a paid process up front and definitely in the long run if your script becomes a production. For many years, Morgan spent his time shopping the script to different film festivals where many crowds saw the pilot. Morgan and Paramount were eventually able to reach a deal with Hulu and they were going to have a series order for the show in 2017, but once again they said psych, except the show is now officially slated to release in 2020 on a new streaming service called Quibi. But we'll get to that later. So what was the compelling plot that Hutton and Keefe came up with? Well, the premise for the show basically goes this. In the vein of Stand By Me, When the Streetlights Go On is a coming-of-age thriller about a sleepy suburban town that is rocked by the brutal murder of a high school girl and her teacher in the summer of 1983. And it's that premise that really hooks me, because it seemed to be a mix of all the things that I love. A small town, a mystery, set in the 80s with a cast of kids left to do the work. Now, if you were thinking that the plot sounds pretty familiar, I wouldn't blame you. The tone of the trailer gives me, for one, a hella Stranger Things and Riverdale vibe. And I love that, not only because Stranger Things is my favorite TV show, but I also happen to be one who tends to defend Riverdale and actually likes it. I know, crazy, right? But that's not the topic of this video, although I will be mentioning Riverdale in a bit in relevance to When the Streetlights Go On. It also does feel like many other teen dramas, even with some great newer ones we've got like Euphoria, but something about it still manages to feel uniquely different and compelling to me. And I don't think it would be fair to directly compare this show to those ones with the intention of saying that it's just trying to copy them. I mean, considering the premise for this show was developed over a decade ago and the pilot was filmed years before any of the others aired. Speaking of the pilot, where is it? Is it possible to find it somewhere deep online? Well, I've already asked myself those questions and tried searching for the pilot, however, it's nowhere to be found. It does exist, it's just that most articles that talked about the show a few years ago could not show the episode. Another thing these articles have in common though is the high praise for the pilot. Some of these articles really give a good idea of what the show is going to be about when it comes out. One writer of an article about the show in 2017 said he was able to read its original feature screenplay, calling it great, and stating that he could see how it would sustain as a TV show. He links it to other murder mysteries like Twin Peaks and Stand By Me. Another writer stated that the show avoided becoming a nostalgia trap, in which its only hook would have been the 80s setting. He said the pilot episode had both popular and lesser known songs from the 80s, showing true dedication to the decade that it's supposed to be set in. He also gave more info on the pilot, saying it was told from the perspective of Charlie, a 15-year-old, when a local high schooler named Chrissy is murdered while making out with the teacher. Locals are confused on how to respond, there aren't many definitive suspects, and lots of rumors begin. The show gives way for many more mysteries, provides suspicious characters, and builds an interesting world. Now, back to the whole Riverdale thing. You know, this show reminds me a lot of Riverdale, except, like, it could be better. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I actually do watch Riverdale. You know, I mean, I guess it kind of just became like a guilty pleasure or something, but I mean, I do enjoy it. I will admit that it has tons of problems too though, but we're not here to go into that. The similarities between what has been shared of When the Streetlights Go On and Riverdale are almost impossible not to notice. I mean, we have the shocking murder of a teen in a small town, which kicks off the main mystery plot, not to mention they both involve teachers doing things they probably shouldn't be. Even the main character, Charlie, is strikingly similar to Jughead in the trailer for the original pilot. I mean, look at his face. Tell me he's not the same person as Cole Sprouse. I'm kidding. I'm definitely kidding. But still, I really think one of the reasons Hulu may have canceled this show is because they knew people may have said it copied Riverdale, even if this show was in development for years before the CW premiered Riverdale in 2016. But honestly, I think this show, if it had come out when it was released in 2017, could have not only been bigger than Riverdale, but much better for sure. I mean, the quality we get from the trailer alone just radiates much more quality than the cheesiness of most CW shows, including Riverdale. It feels much more cinematic and has a plot that, if it doesn't derail into a much crazier and all over the place one like Riverdale, would be bound to attract many of the people who hate on Riverdale for just that reason. On top of that, the cast seems stellar. I'm really interested in some of the names that we're supposed to see when it comes out. I mean, did you expect me to say that Queen Latifah is going to be in the show? No? Well, me neither. Apparently she'll be playing a detective investigating the case. Chosen Jacobs, who played Mike in 2017's remake of It, my favorite movie of all time by the way, is supposed to be a part of the regular cast, which is just awesome to me. Joining him is going to be Christine Frozeth, who plays Kelly in Netflix's show The Society, which is one of my favorite shows too, and I recommend you guys watch. I'll be making a video on that soon. Sophie Thatcher from Chicago Med, Sam Strike from Night Flyers, Ben Allers from The Village, and Julia Sarah Stone from Aftermath will also be in the main cast. The guy who plays Charlie, Max Bucholder, has voiced in a lot of different stuff like Family Guy, American Dad, and Astro Boy. The girl who's murdered at the beginning of the show is played by Nicola Pells, who played Katara in that god-awful live-action Avatar The Last Airbender movie. She's also been in Transformers. The character's sister, Becky, is played by Odessa Young, who's been in some really good movies. The rest of the cast are just a few unknowns, but to me that's a good thing, because most of the time, unknown actors have something to prove, so I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these people on screen. Overall, I'd say this show has a lot of potential. I mean, it has all the ingredients needed in that nice, juicy, binge-watchable recipe. An interesting plot with an equally intriguing mystery, a large cast full of people playing important characters in this small town, 80s nostalgia. The only downside I'd say holding this thing back from becoming one of the best new teen dramas is the fact that the new streaming service is so unknown. While we do know the show is supposed to come out in 2020 when Kibi comes out, it's not specified exactly when it's releasing. We do know that the service comes out in April, however. But I'm recommending anyone watching this video to watch it when it comes out. I mean, I definitely will. I've been looking forward to it for years since it was announced and then delayed and then announced and then delayed. I love teen dramas anyway. Usually the quality ones though, following an interesting plotline with quality cinematic theme. But Jay, don't you watch Hey, shush it. I didn't ask for anyone's opinion on this matter. All in all, guys, I'd say that When the Streetlights Go On has the potential to become one of the best new teen drama shows, especially considering that it incorporates mystery and a lot of the themes that people really like today. I mean, 80s nostalgia, it's really huge with stuff like Stranger Things, which again is my favorite show. I'm a fiend for stuff like this. I love these types of things. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, just make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, comment down below, and let me know if you are looking forward to this. Let me know if you want to slander my opinion opinions on liking Riverdale. I probably will be making a video pretty soon on just some of the best new teen dramas or just teen shows coming out in 2020 that have the potential to blow up or just, you know, be big like Euphoria. So look forward to that. But overall, I'd say the show has the potential to catch a lot of people's, you know, attention. And I think a lot of people are probably going to talk about it next year when it does come out. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy, and don't slander me for liking Riverdale. Please, please, I'm a new YouTuber. I need all of the likability I